I'm still cafe.
Merħba lura fil-programm Maltese DownUnder. Fit-taqsima li miss Mark Avellino ser laqana mal-kantawtur żagħżugħ Kyle Zammit li propju ftit tal-ġimgħat oħra ser jiniedi l-ewwel EP tiegħu.
Well, as a young kid, I was always surrounded by musicians, as my father's a musician, and I was never really forced into, having to play an instrument. It was always at the tip of my fingers, and ever since then, 17 years later, I've been playing ever since.
Yeah, so for those people who don't know, your father is?
Michael Zammit.
Right, so Michael has had an illustrious career as a producer and as a musician. He's been involved with some of the big, The Voice and a few other TV shows.
Yeah.
When you've seen him kind of like being involved at that level as a child, what kind of impact do you think that had on you?
Yeah, it's very inspirational. Like, for example, last Friday there was a gig that he was attending, and he opened up for it, and it's just like, to see my father doing something that I want to do just makes me proud. It's very pleasing to see that something that I wish I could be doing when I'm older.
And like a few weeks ago, we actually interviewed your other brother, Corey.
Yeah.
Obviously, music runs really deep in your family. How would you best describe the music that you produce?
Yeah, so I try and base my music off pop rock, so kind of a bit of U2, a bit of Coldplay every now and again. I try and base it with what's out there today, with my own kind of twist to it.
Yeah. What is the kind of process for you for creating your music? Is it the words first, or is the music first?
I wouldn't say it's any of them first. It's kind of just like just having something going on in my life that I like to express. So I've always found music the easiest way to kind of tell a story about someone or something. So it's always kind of been based off that, and then I'll go from the words, and then I'll just do some composition.
So you've produced some singles,
yep.
And I believe one of them was quite successful.
Yeah.
Would you like to sort of just tell us a little bit about your recording so far?
I've just finished releasing my last two singles over the past 12 months. Yeah, they've been done here at Airwaves Recording Studio. Yeah, it was quite a journey for me, going into like a blank canvas and just practically putting my heart to something that means the world to me. Yeah. And I'm very blessed for the way it came out.
So with the singles that you've put down recently, did you go through the whole process of recording, trying to find a way of releasing? Like, did you just do online releasing, or did you press some actual physical singles as well?
So majority of it's been online through a bit of iTunes, Spotify, YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, so far I'm trying to find a couple more platforms to chuck it on, and I want to do some vinyl pressing, just have the just so I can stick it up on my wall and say this is what I did when I was 17, to have that memory.
And Triple J picked up one of the songs.
Yes, and Joy FM,
yep.
as well, which I'm very stoked about. Didn't expect it. So
what was the name of the song? What was
it was called When I Look Into Your Eyes. It's about a past relationship that I didn't expect to end the way it did. Mm-hmm. But just writing about what was good and learning from how I can make myself a better person.
Yeah, so using experience to create the music, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's always the way it goes.
Kyle, one of the little known facts is that you perform with your dad and your brother Corey, and you're performing at like Maltese clubs, which I believe is a family tradition going back to your grandfather.
Yes.
So, how is that different to producing pop for you?
Yeah, it was what I was introduced to. So my first gig, I was lucky enough to play a couple of songs with my late grandfather. Yeah, kind of from there, it's just it's kind of natural in a way, because it's always good to carry on a legacy in the family, and making obviously my family proud, and as well as myself proud.
Yeah. When you're in that environment and there's like the whole Maltese community around you, how would you sort of say that experience is? What's that experience like for you? Yeah,
it's quite a comfortable experience, I suppose, because you've got family around, you've got family friends around. It's just a very welcoming environment, and it's good to have that at such a young age. So much support from your surroundings. It's fantastic. I'm very grateful to have that.
And the style of music that you guys are playing?
So we'll do a bit of the classic 70s and 60s stuff, bit of Rod Stewart, and we'll also play a couple of Maltese tunes.
Mm-hmm. And have you been performing live as a solo artist as yet?
I haven't just as yet, because I'm still waiting to release my EP at the end of this year. Mm-hmm. But once I've got all that ready to go, I'll hopefully have a small tour on the way.
Yeah. So what's going into the EP as far as what's that process of getting that together for you like?
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, I've taken it quite slow because I just want everything to be perfect because it's coming from me, and you know, I want it to be exactly the way I want it, so I'm not really rushing into it, you know. Yeah, just as far as recording goes, I've got another 2 songs to go. I'm in pre-production at the moment for my newest track that I'd like to release by the end of the month. Yeah, we should be ready to go.
With sort of getting things out there, and you mentioned Spotify and all that, but predominantly sort of using independent means to do it, or are you just trying to see what fits best for what you're doing?
Yeah, so a bit of both. I've gone down the independent path of, you know, using the Facebook and the YouTube, but I've also you know, just doing a bit of experimentation just with, you know, some local radio stations, just some online websites, and also, you know, a couple of friends that, you know, do some DJing with it. So yeah, it's always a plus to have some friends like that.
Kyle, when are you expecting the EP to be launched?
Yeah, so hopefully I'll have everything done and dusted by the end of the year. Hopefully get to release it, a couple of hard copies, and also onto iTunes by January.
I know for me as a photographer, when I see my work actually printed, it's such a rare thing these days that I get excited by it. So getting a pressed copy of your kind of music, what do you think that's going to feel like when you actually see the finished product?
Yeah, it's always been a dream of mine just to have something in my hand that I've done and I've put so much hard work into, and, you know, people may not understand it because it hasn't come from them, but it's come from me, and it's you know, something that's started from last year, from like something such a minor, you know, occurrence has turned into something so big for me that's, you know, practically, you know, changed my life and changed me the way I am. Is just, you know, going to be so, you know, amazing just to have in my hands. You know, over 2 years of hard work is just, you know, very pleasing for me.